that this is our first time going live, so we're just going to roll with it and see how it goes. I hope you like the view of Vancouver behind me, and as you can see, my light is showing. Okay, obviously I won't be able to move like that. Sonia, thank you for joining me today. I'd love to introduce you to a wonderful addition to our team at the clinic here. Her name is Sonia. She's a registered nurse. She brings to us a wealth of knowledge and experience, and we're so excited to have her and introduce her to you. I know many of you have had the pleasure of working with her already. Sonia has a really great, varied background. She has a bunch of experience in medical aesthetics and skin treatments, but she's also a self-professed nerd when it comes to health. And I have to say that I enjoy hearing about all the research that she does on the weekends to learn about the different things that she can do, sort of from a 360-degree view to improve her own health. And I think that is her mission for our patients as well. So Sonia, really, really wonderful to have you.
Thank you.
The topic of today's show is melasma, and it is a topic that I'm quite passionate about because I do suffer from melasma, and it's going to be great to ask Sonia some questions. She's going to help us to really understand the skin condition. So Sonia, could you start off by telling us what is melasma, and how do you know if you have melasma or just pigment?
So I feel like that's such a common question, is people come in and they think of it as pigment. I usually start off by saying, like, what are some things, when did you notice this pigment? Did you recently go on a birth control? Did you have an influx in hormones? Are you trying to go through IVF or donate your eggs? And it's usually what triggers melasma is usually hormone related. So maybe they had a kid 10 years ago and they're like, it came on when I was pregnant and it kind of, gets worse in the summertime and then it'll fade, and or it's just been like a solid color. So things that usually attribute, obviously I can't diagnose, but these are like hints that it might be melasma, is usually if it's hormone related or triggered by birth control or pregnancy.
Okay. What about if your pigment is triggered by the sun? Is that a surefire way to know that that's melasma, or?
Not as commonly, because I feel like freckles can be caused by the sun. Age spots a little bit too. They get usually worse in the summertime. They can lighten in the winter, but usually melasma is more like a diffuse pigment color. So it's kind of like a bronzing effect. And it's usually bilateral. So you'll get it kind of on the cheeks. You can get it on the upper lip, middle of the forehead. About 10% of men can get it as well. So it goes for both men and female. But yeah, it's usually kind of a diffuse color of pigment.
Okay. Now, I know that I've been educated myself on melasma. Thank you to you, Sonia. Tell us a bit about it. Can it be cured? Can it be managed? What is the approach with melasma?
Yeah, I wish there was a magic wand and we can just wipe it all away. And we can definitely manage it, but we can't ever cure it. Although I have had people who have melasma and it can kind of go into remission a little bit. So, if you don't have any current spikes in your hormones and you avoid the sun or wear at least sunscreen, you can prevent a lot of the triggers that can cause melasma. But if you're currently on birth control or you are pregnant, those fluctuations of hormones are going to keep creating this pigmented color on your skin.
Okay. I know that really rings true with me. I started to notice a patch on my upper lip when I was pregnant, and then it sort of felt like it was moving around a little bit. I went through a stage where it was quite bad on my forehead. But the really good news that I want to share with everyone is that there are ways to treat it. And I have had a great deal of success having my condition managed here at the clinic. We have a really unique approach that Sonia offers here in terms of sort of managing and treating the skin condition. And I wanted to ask you, Sonia, what is this three-pronged approach that we offer here?
So yes, it's kind of 3 stages. The first one is usually skincare. So we want to prep the skin. We want to make sure the skin's healthy. And we also, there's so many products we have now that can, I'll go into products in just a sec. So products is stage 1. Stage 2 is our treatment options. Again, I'll talk about that a little bit more. And then the third one is our vitamin therapy that's kind of new to the clinic.
Okay, great. So let's start with the skincare products then. What can we do with products to help?
So I feel like always start with a good cleanser. I actually really like Image's Intense Brightening Cleanser. Let's see. The other thing I feel like the staple for melasma is the hydroquinone system by Zeo. It is a bit of a bleaching agent, so it can be for like any red or sensitive skin. It can sometimes be over irritating, but it's like the gold standard for helping to treat melasma because it does prevent and lift pigment. This something is you'll start to see results. You want to use it every day, day and night. You'll start to see results as early as a month, but you want to use it for about 3 months, and you don't want to use it longer than at 5 months. So at the 3-month mark, you actually start to taper off it. But if you are pregnant or trying to avoid some of those more harsher treatments, we also have, and there's options for the summer as well. Zeo has a really nice Bright Alive, which helps reduce pigment. And then SkinCeuticals also has a discoloration defense and advanced discoloration cream system. The nice thing about these is it helps to prevent tyrannase from stimulating your melanocyte. So with melasma, it's the hormone that usually triggers this pigment production. So a lot of the brands will have this inhibitor in it to help prevent the pigment from forming. Once we suppress the pigment formation, that's when we can usually treat the upper layers to help, like with lasers or different options to help lift the pigment that's currently in the skin. So we have it suppressed with skincare, and then we want to use the second option, which is lasers or different options.
Great. Okay, lasers. Let's hear about those. And I have personal experience with great success having had a halo myself. I think we're going to show my before and after photos. What sort of treatments, device-based treatments, are available for melasma?
So we can start easy with just a lightning peel. Usually people do a series of 6 of these. You can do it every 2 weeks. And it's kind of a little more gentler on the skin. It's safe if you've had any sun exposure. It can be done basically all year round. And it's a nice kind of intro into everything. If you're scared of lasers, scared of anything, start with just a lightning peel. The other option is microneedling. So it doesn't use heat, so you're not worried about stimulating melasma. And it helps to produce a little bit of collagen, but also helps to break apart the top layer of skin where a lot of the pigment is, and it will help to like lift. But this is, again, a gradual thing. Usually a series of 3 is recommended for melasma, spaced about anywhere from 4 to 6 weeks apart.
Okay, and microneedling treatments can be done year-round, is that right?
Yeah. And
yes,
also
okay. What about halo? Actually, this might be a good time to show my photos.
Sure.
Hi, Harleen. Harleen is in the background producing this episode. Probably laughing at me right now. Thank you. So my melasma, as I said, I started to notice moving pigment on my face when I was pregnant. And then it was around that time I got really into outdoor sports like kite surfing and biking. And I would spend a lot of time out in the sun wearing a helmet and goggles with a strap. So like this part of my face was always exposed. And same when I was out in the water doing my sports with the sun beating up on my face. Yeah. So I really started to get it quite badly on this patch of my face. And then for some reason, my forehead flared up like crazy. So it looks like my photos are not showing at the moment, so that's okay. So I did have I actually do religiously have 1 or 2 halos per year, usually at the end of the summer. And it really lifts a lot of the pigment for me. Mm-hmm. There's other benefits to the treatment, which maybe Sonia can tell us about in terms of anti-aging, but what it does for my pigment is wonderful. Now, why is halo good for lifting pigment?
So halos are an amazing option for melasma. It uses controlled, so it helps to break apart the initial, like it does an ablative, fractionated ablative laser to the top epidermis. So it helps with pores, it helps with kind of fine lines, textural issues, and any pigment that kind of might be in the top layer of the epidermis. And then the second laser simultaneously at the same time goes a little bit deeper, kind of creates a microcoagulate burn, but it's a very controlled heat within the dermis, which helps to stimulate collagen, help with elastin, helps to really plump the skin. I've seen actually amazing results with like acne and fine lines and even like kind of deeper wrinkles with halo. So I mean, people are coming in to treat their pigment and getting the added bonus of so many other things. I feel like I don't even have pigment, but I just wanted the like anti-aging benefits to like plump my skin. So I did it like 4 days ago, and I'm healed.
Oh, you're just 4 days in? Wow.
Yeah,
I can't tell at all. Wow. That is the beautiful thing about the Halo, is because of those 2 laser wavelengths. And that's a very unique thing about the device, the 2 wavelengths delivered at the same time. You get what I think could be described as a relatively deep treatment, but with a very quick healing time. So the downtime, I know that Sonia tells me to take a couple days off my spin class afterwards, but I don't always. Is it okay if I admit that? No, I should not. There's no spin classes right now anyways. Okay, so no before and after photos. That's okay, Harleen. We'll continue, and you let us know if you find them. You just
I feel like you're a great after photo, because I can't see any melasma on you.
I know. I was wishing I could show you. It's really, really cleared up. It is an absolutely amazing result. Oh, Harleen says that it showed for us.
Okay.
That is so, okay, that's good to know about this system that we're using here. Okay, so lots of skin treatments available, depending on how aggressive or not you want to go, that can be tailored for the weather, for the sun or not the sun.
Yeah, this is kind of our halo season. So wintertime, you've been avoiding the sun. If you have an active tan, we don't want to do halo. And if you think you'll be exposed to the sun for the next 2 to 3 weeks, we also probably want to be careful. You have to be religious about, because you have all this fresh baby skin, you want to protect it with sunscreen. And I also want to mention that if you are currently on your birth control or currently pregnant or even breastfeeding, those influx of hormones, you probably want to wait till you're either off your birth control or after breastfeeding before doing a halo, to kind of give your hormones time to stabilize, and then also using skincare to help suppress the pigment. But unfortunately, I've had somebody do it while on birth control, and it just gets re-stimulated. So
yeah, that's good to know. Very good to know. So the third part of our approach here is the IV therapy, which I've tried a couple times now, and I'm very excited about that Sonia has brought this into our clinic. So tell us about that.
So it's called our Skin Bright. It's about 20 to 30 minutes. It's glutathione and vitamin C. So both are huge antioxidants. They have many benefits all over the body. But the interesting thing about glutathione is it actually helps your body to produce less less eumelanin and more pheomelanin. So eumelanin is actually like the dark pigment we see, like that's what you usually see with melasma, age spots. It's like the darker pigment in usually your hair. And pheomelanin is pink pigment. So it's more found in your lips. And so it actually helps your body produce less dark pigment and more brighter light pigment. And then vitamin C, it actually helps enable glutathione to work better. And I feel like you can do this weekly. I like to do it before a halo and after a halo. You can do it year round, which is awesome. And I have some people who actually just do the vitamins, and granted they do wear sunscreen as well, but they notice a huge difference, like the next day to even like the few days after, that their skin looks brighter.
Right. And I certainly did too. And I felt really good too, because while I've been having my treatments, we've been adding some NAD to it. I would love it if you would just talk for a minute about NAD, because I think it's pretty exciting.
I love NAD as well. I feel like it's not utilized as much as it could be right now. I feel like how I noticed it was a lot of like brain clarity and like just the recovery is better. I feel like I don't need as much sleep. I did have a little bit of brain fog that happened over the summer, and when I take this, it just helps to lift it. And the interesting thing about NAD is it's actually recycled in your body. So getting a little top up, your body will help to recycle it. It's not something that you use and it flushes out. Your body will try to keep using it, basically.
Okay, great. Yeah, really excited about this. So can be added to treatments, can be, weekly, or Sonia will help come up with a protocol and a schedule for you, but a really, really exciting thing to try. Why don't we finish with some tips and tricks? If you have melasma, what are some sort of tips for managing it?
So number one thing is avoiding the sun as much as you can. I feel like we're in Vancouver. We get so much clouds that when it does get sunny, you're so excited to be outside. But be cautious that not only sun, but heat is also a trigger for melasma. So making sure your sunscreen has a physical barrier, which is zinc or titanium dioxide. The difference between a chemical sunscreen and a physical sunscreen is a chemical sunscreen absorbs into the skin and kind of helps your skin not to burn, but it does sometimes still get some of those rays into the skin to like, it will get hot. Whereas zinc and titanium stay on the top layer and basically help reflect it from even hitting your skin. So avoiding the sun, wearing an SPF, if you can, wear a hat, everything you can. And hot activities as well. So saunas, hot tubs. I will say working out a little bit, but like try to do it in like a cooler environment if you can. Heat can be a trigger. Hormones are a trigger. We kind of don't have much control over that. Same with stress. And then another thing to look into is, unfortunately, no IPLs or BBLs.
This makes me so sad.
I know. I feel like everyone comes in and they have what I would safely put as melasma. It's a lot easier to put it as melasma than just pigment, because we're treating it a little bit safer if it is melasma. But certain lasers can actually trigger melasma. So I feel like if you are looking into it, Halo is a safe option for it. And don't just think, unfortunately, any laser can treat melasma.
Right. Yeah. Great. Any other tips and tricks, or I have just a couple of words to wrap up, unless there's anything else you wanted to add? No, that's it. Okay, thank you, Sonia. So I think takeaways from today is that there are different ways to approach the management of melasma. Coming at it from a few different angles is certainly probably going to help you achieve the most success. You don't have to go hard if you don't want to. You can start with less invasive treatments and skincare products and work your way up. It is really recommended to work with an expert like Sonia if you are going to try these treatments, because, for example, if you would like to give something like hydroquinone a try, you want to make sure that Sonia has a plan for you to get to taper off of it so that you don't experience rebound. So don't dismay, don't despair. It is a condition that we've had a lot of success treating, and we're here to answer your questions. Thank you so much for joining today. Please feel free to reach out to us, and we'd love to get you scheduled for a complimentary consultation if you'd like to get some help managing your melasma.
Nice to meet everyone.
Thank you.
Bye.
Bye.